Hey, what's going on? Coming at you from Chicago, Illinois. So, with this video, I'm going to be going a little bit into time capsule. Um, I'm going to be talking about this article that I found from NewYorkPost.com, and this was a guy he was like a spokesperson for Verizon, and the reason why I talk about the time capsule is because when this Paul guy, when he did these Verizon commercials, he was advertising flip phones. So no smartphones, no YouTube, none of that stuff. So again, this article's from NewYorkPost.com, and the title of the article is "Former Can You Hear Me Now Guy Reveals Bizarre Life." And this is an older article, way back from April 15, 2011. It's an old article, but I think it's still relevant because I'm going to talk about criticism and judgment and comments and this, that. So I'm going to start. His name is Paul Marcorelli. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his last name, so I'll just refer to him as Paul M. So Paul M., who was the pitchman for Verizon, has spoken out for the first time about being the face of the phone company. He spoke out for the first time, again, this article's old, about being the face of the phone company and how it put him in cell hell. So he had quite an experience doing these Verizon commercials and then the after effects of what had occurred from doing that. Article goes on to say Paul M. recently dropped, again, old article, he was recently dropped as Verizon's so-called test man, and he said that nearly everywhere he goes he is recognized, and that he even had to ditch his heavy frame glasses for ones with wire rims to keep from some anonymity. So, it really, his work passed over to his everyday life, it appears. His fame had gotten so broad and so weird that a few months ago, again, old article, at his grandmother's funeral, a friend of the family whispered to another person, "Can you hear me now?" just as her body was being lowered into the grave. So, for those you guys who are not familiar with these old Verizon commercials, it was just like I saw one old commercial on YouTube. It was just like a slogan that he would appear. This one that I saw, he appeared at the end of the commercial, and then it's just a slogan: "Can you hear me now?" To represent Verizon. And then the article says he also couldn't find peace at his home in Connecticut. About 5 years ago, again, old article, a local youth began driving past his house and shouting, "Can you hear me now?" at his house at all hours of the night. So, even back in 2011, obviously there was shenanigans, just ignorance, and this was just unnecessary. He was just simply a spokesperson. These people, they didn't have to be obnoxious the way they acted towards him, but that's ancient history now. I think, he went over from Verizon to Sprint. So that was that old New York Post article. I'm going to jump over here to... this video is a little bit old too. This was back when Donald Trump was still in office. This is from the YouTube channel Roland S. Martin. And the title of this video is Omarosa Talks Unhinged, explains why she worked for Trump and commits to getting him out of office. Again, this is old. And so Roland, he does this interview with Omarosa. And he kind of, towards the end of the interview, he asked her, what does she have to say for the people who don't want to talk to her, who don't want to see her, who labels her as a traitor for working for the Trump administration. And so basically, Roland was asking Omarosa, what does she have to say to her critics? And this is what Omarosa had to say. This is her speaking. If you want to put yourself out there, you've got to be prepared to take the lumps and the bumps. And that's what I did. When you're making a difference, you're not going to have everybody agree with you, and you're not going to be popular. So what? I put myself out there and I followed the path that God has outlined for me. So, obviously Omarosa, she's an individual who's used to being attacked and criticized. I guess maybe even you could say villainized for choosing to have worked in Trump's administration. But I just kind of want to summarize this video, by saying that there's all sorts of critics, obviously with YouTube. I know with some of my videos, some people have posted like telling me to get a life. This one woman, she insinuated for me to stop making these YouTube videos. All I can say is that I'm not going to encourage the negative comments, and I'm also not going to discourage it either. This is a tough world that we live in, and we have to learn to be tough within ourselves, because it doesn't matter whether you have a YouTube channel or not. Just because you don't have a YouTube channel, that doesn't mean you're not susceptible to being criticized. It could be at the workplace, people criticizing you there. It could be going to the grocery store, your cashier with a bad attitude, or I know some of these people, they get really vicious with their shopping carts, and then the way they drive in the parking lot. It's just you really got to be tough. So I think that it's important to don't let these people stand in your way. If there's something that you want to go after, if there's something you want to do, if it's constructive criticism, I think that's one thing. I know I definitely made my mistakes. I made a lot of mistakes, and I've committed a lot of sins. So I am receptive to the constructive criticism. But as far as just the negativity and the unnecessary comments, I think that we're all going to stand judgment with our Creator. And when these people that do this, that leave like these negative comments, and just basically the hate that they have in their heart, when their day of judgment comes, I think there's a possibility they're going to reflect, instead of projecting all that hate, maybe I should have worked on my salvation, worked on a relationship with my Creator. But unfortunately, by that time, it'll be too late for those individuals. So I think it's the point I'm getting at is that we just really need to learn to have compassion. And I know that when people come at you, it's easy to go on the defensive, but we have to learn to discipline ourselves. That a lot of these people that spur negativity, a lot of them are hurting inside. It's easier for them to lash out than for them to work on themselves. So that was today's video. If you guys enjoy this content, please follow me, please support me. The great thing about making these videos is that not only can you guys hopefully learn from me, but I can learn from you guys as well if you post comments. And I hope to see you guys in the next video.